Hello everyone. Today in this video I want to talk about the topic and operating systems, specifically terms of use, license and installation. Operating system or just OS is the main software in every computer. It helps computer to work and to run programs. But OS have different rules. How you can use it depends if you are a student, normal user or a company. Some OS are free, some need money. I'll explain license for different usage and talk about installation. So let's get started. So let's see operating systems for educational purposes. First, Windows. For students, Windows is sometimes free or very cheap. There are programs like Azure or On the Hub. If your school is in that program, you can get Windows without paying or just for a small price. macOS is different. It doesn't come free for schools. If a school wants to use a macOS, they need to buy Apple products like MacBooks or iMacs, so it costs more. And now Linux is 100% free. Many schools and universities use it, especially in programming or networking classes. It's very popular in IT education because it's open source and easy to install. So for education, Linux is best for learning. Windows is also good and available, and macOS is more expensive and mostly used where Apple devices are already there. Now, let's talk about using operating systems at home. Private use. First, Windows. When you buy a new laptop, Windows usually comes already installed. But if you build your own computer or change some parts, you might need to buy a Windows license. It's not a free, but the price is not very high. For macOS, it's free only if you have an Apple computer like MacBook or iMac. But but you can't legally put macOS on a regular PC. It breaks the rules. So macOS only works for Apple devices. Linux is free again for personal use. You can download it and install it on any computer without paying or any problem. It's good for simple home use, internet and learning tech stuffs. So private use, Windows usually costs money but comes easy with new laptops. macOS is free but only on Apple hardware. Linux is fully free and flexible. Then let's talk about businesses and how they use operating systems. For Windows, companies need to buy special license. They cannot just use normal Windows. They have to purchase Windows Pro or Windows Enterprise versions. These have more tools and better security for work. So businesses pay for each computer that works with Windows. macOS is only for Apple devices and businesses too. You can't just legally put macOS on a regular computer. So if a computer wants to use macOS, they need to buy Apple computer. Linux is free for businesses. Many big tech companies like Google, Facebook, and Amazon use Linux because it's open source and free. Some companies even pay for support versions like Red Hat, but normal Linux like Ubuntu is free and also good. So for businesses, Windows costs money is special license. macOS only works on Apple devices, and Linux is free and popular with big tech companies. Now I will talk about how we install operating systems. First, let's start with Windows. To install Windows, you need a USB stick with the installation files. When you turn on your computer, you use the USB to start the installation. Also, Windows needs something called an activation key to unlock Windows and use it fully. Now, macOS, if you buy a MacBook or iMac, macOS is already installed. It it also updates by itself when you are connected to the internet. You don't need to install it again unless there is a big problem or you want to reset your Mac. Next is Linux. You can go to the Linux website and download a file called ICO. Then you put this file on a USB just like Windows. After that, you install it on your computer. Some types of Linux like Ubuntu or Linux Mint are easy to use and for even beginners. In my next videos, I will show how to install Windows and Linux with real steps and examples. So, we know there are different operating systems like Windows, macOS, and Linux. Each one is good for different people. If you are a student, maybe you can get Windows for free or use Linux for learning. If you have a Mac, you will use macOS. If you are a home user, you can choose what is easy and works for you. Windows is common, Linux is free, and macOS is great if you have an Apple device. And for businesses, they need to follow the license rules. Most companies pay for Windows, some use macOS, and many use Linux to save money. Windows is the most common one. Many people use it at home, in school, and at work. Linux is open source, free, and used a lot by developers and in servers. It's great for learning and for tech people. macOS is only for Apple computers. It works well, but you need to have an Apple device. So before you install or use any system, think, what do I need? What can I pay? What is allowed by the license? So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.